Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tnek127 and welcome back to another Tera console video. And before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special shout out to my man Sarumonin for reaching out to me and wanting to get with me to do this little project that we're going to discuss here in today's video. But so here's how this is going to work. Part 1 of this is going to be on my channel, and Part 2 of this is going to be on Sarumonin's channel. So after you watch my video, be sure to go to his channel and check him out as well. And guys, he's a really awesome Tera console content creator. He also covers a lot of other games and everything too. You guys are going to love his content. He makes really awesome like dungeon guides and walkthroughs and stuff like that. This man has some serious talent, and I am so grateful that he reached out to me to do this discussion video on my channel and for his. So special shout out to Sarumonin again. A link to part 2 of our discussion video will be in the description below, as well as a link to his channel. So be sure to check him out and subscribe, guys. Enjoy the video. Peace out. Take care. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Alright, so let's start. Let's just dive right into it. Current PvE and PvP content.
Whew.
Yeah. Are you happy with it? Do you think there should be more? Do you think that the current dungeons that we're getting, we should be getting more dungeons, or maybe something that's a little more scaled down? What do you think?
I definitely do think we need more dungeons, and especially like raid content. That is one thing that does help bring groups and guilds and stuff like that together. I do think we're lacking a bit on the PvE side. I want to say we are lacking a bit on PvP too, but the thing is, there's a lot more incentive to play PvP. Like, I think by the time you hit endgame in Tera console, I think you've done a decent amount of PvP. Like, look at the daily challenge you get when you're leveling, for example, the Kuma Royale. That requires you almost to PvP every day for a big XP bonus, which is worth it, of course. I think by the time people hit 65, they may have had just a bit of enough of PvP. But I do think, we should get some more PvE content, especially raids and stuff like that. When I ran Democron Factory for the first time, the 7-man dungeon, I guess you can call it a raid technically. Yeah. I really did enjoy that. I found that a lot of fun, even though it was pretty easy. But I do think, a lot more things like that should be brought into the game sooner than later.
For sure. And I mean, the thing is, like, comparing it to PC and what we would probably be getting from PC, there really isn't any raids. You have Herald, which is a 30-man raid, and I mean, that's it. That's all you got. Before we used to have Wonderhome, which was a 10-man raid, and then you had the hard mode, which is also, I think, a 10-man raid. And eventually you had more raids, and I feel like they've maybe scaled down on the type of those type of contents for us, at least. I don't understand why. I mean, there's been a lot of, I think the main point of this and why we're doing this video, is because we're concerned. We like Tera console. We love Tera console. I mean, I love it. I've always loved Tera for a long time. And I want to see it succeed, especially now that it's in a console platform, and I'd like to see it grow. But there's a lot of it holding back, and I know it's not a lot. I know a lot of it's not NMAS's fault. I know it's a blue hole and them withholding a lot of things, which we'll get into later. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I liked when the current. I like the current PvP and the current PvE. I mean, you don't really get to play Corsair Stronghold on PC because it's dead, and Freywind Canyon is almost non-existent on PC as well. So it's nice to play it here, but I think that players want something else, want something exciting for both aspects. And we'll get a little bit more into the PvP content and what we're missing here in this console version, because we're missing quite a few, like a lot of things. The only thing that we really have is dueling, and we don't even have Guild Wars, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, there's just there's quite a few things missing, but another thing I think they should do too is the rating aspect. I do feel it's going to need more incentive to drive itself also. Because one thing I've noticed a lot with Tera's gearing and endgame system, it's get this tier of gear, farm feedstock until you can't take it anymore, get your item level up, and you get another tier of gear and do the same thing over and over again with hard mode versions of dungeons you just finished doing.
Right.
I do think if they bring the raids in like Harrowhold and it has that same formula, I think that'll personally get boring. I think they're going to need a bit more of a bigger reward incentive to keep people driving to that raid. From what I know, Harrowhold is pretty challenging. So I think the challenge alone will definitely entice people to play it, but the rewards definitely have to fit the challenge of the raid.
For sure. And I mean, that's another thing that we can talk about is a lot of us know that the current gearing system and I guess just leveling system is not, or progression system, I guess you can call it, is completely different from PC. And what we're expecting from PC is much easier on us on a grind level. It's more so on a gold and grind level than it is on a continuous grind and just dying inside type of thing. I think a lot of us, myself included, I said, I might as well just skip ambush and just wait for the new gears. Because the gear that we have now, I think it goes up to ambush. And then ambush becomes relatively redundant because Death Rat comes out and then Oblit and the rest, Misery gear as well. And then after that, you have the new gear system, which levels up with you. And then you're just like, well, they're pushing us quite a bit to just move on and get into, ambush right now. We saw with this new event, for example, the Strongbox, they're giving away tier 11 feedstock, and we're like, well, they're clearly trying to push us to get tier 11 now. So I don't know. I mean, I bet we could talk about that afterwards, yeah. But let's talk about server population. Like, it's currently decreasing. I see a lot on Discord. Oh, my server is dead. What do I do? We should merge and all this other stuff. What do you think about that?
One thing I did notice for sure, even during the betas and the technical tests, and honestly, I kind of blame the whole Velica lagging thing for this. I think the reason they made so many servers and everything in the first place is because of how unstable Velica was at the beginning of the beta. Like when the Tera beta first started, they had Velica specifically with one channel, and as soon as people started just rioting and complaining about how unstable that area was, here came multiple channels, multiple servers, and I thought the first few servers we had when the game launched, I thought that was fine. I didn't think there was, a need for so many more servers to be added, but I definitely think, there should be some type of merger. A few of them should be trimmed down or something, because one thing in a massively multiplayer game is you don't want to split the player population up too much. I've seen that done wrong in so many other titles, especially even titles that I cover on my channel frequently, and it can mess up all sorts of things in game balance in the end.
Yeah, I was saying this on Discord. It was just like not a few. It was quite a bit ago. I was basically saying mergers are a little difficult to talk about because there's two things. One, I understand why they did it. There's like obviously the reasons you said about the whole, Velica and it all being an issue and all that stuff. But at the same time, it was the whole thing. If they didn't release 3 new servers, which is the equivalent amount of what we got in early access, the players that wouldn't have a chance to go for those server first stuff, and it is important to a lot of players. True. So that would just cause a bigger uproar than server mergers. And we were talking earlier on like a few days ago with Cobalt Dragon, which is one of the GMs, and he takes a lot of the responsibility of like community management and stuff like that, even though he isn't, but he does, talk a lot to the community. They're talking about, we've seen the numbers, and we're putting a request in for mergers and all that stuff. But with that in mind, if there is a merger, now I'm not quoting him properly. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was basically saying that, we can look into it and, take the appropriate action then, you know what I mean? Which is basically saying, if we need to, then obviously we will, because we don't want to deprive players from that. With that in mind, is it going to be like PC where they have free server transfers to compensate for those mergers, or how is it going to be? Because it's difficult to, a lot of players start in a server and they're like, this is my home, so to speak. And right. I know a lot of people moved over to Dracoloth or moved over to Thulsa or Nixaris because from the other servers, they're like, there's nobody here and there's nothing to do. I mean, I don't have anything to do here. So they just start all over again, and they hate that, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, one thing I can definitely say about that, I personally have even lost a couple guild members that went ahead to Thulsa and my guild because there was just not too much to do. Like a lot of my guilds inactive, but just taking a break from the game because the lack of content, and a lot of them want to play. They want a specific class they want to play. There's certain things they want to do, and the fact that we still can't like level up our guilds and everything as well. That's still kind of all that comes into whole balance. Maybe giving us some more people around and things will help influence players to play more. Like one place I do hang out at pretty often on Tera is Highwatch. Now usually Highwatch, especially channel 1, is always crowded as hell, but these past 2 or 3 weeks it's been on the medium to the low end. I barely even see people there. I don't know if it's just because of people not playing, if they're hanging out somewhere else, if they've found something else to do, but I really have noticed that my server is getting a little bit dry, and I personally play on the Overlift server.
Right. First of all, sorry to hear it, because Tulsa. I have this running joke with a member called Miyuki, and I just make fun of Tulsa all the time. Call it the RP server. No, I definitely understand, and I mean, like I was saying, a lot of people are moving to like Dracoloth, or they're moving away from Dracoloth to a PvP server, and it's literally the same thing. I know, for example, and I had a lot of guild members. I would say about 20 that left my guild to join another guild because mine wasn't as active. Because we had about 20 players on at all times. And we were still top 3 for 10 weeks straight. And for that week, we were number 1 for being 20 players. So to kind of emphasize on that, the guild rankings, when you go to guilds on servers, it's literally based on the guild activity. So when you are leaving my guild to join a more quote-unquote active guild, you are quite literally leaving the most active guild on the server. But I don't blame them. I'm just, basically my point is that players are wanting more active, I guess, socialization. All we're getting in World Chat, we can't even talk in World Chat because it's spammed by gold bots. We have to go to Highwatch. I used to hang out in Bellica a lot just to sit there and chat with people, but there's gold bots all around, and I try to help, NMAS quite a bit with banning some of these bots when I'm online. Right. But some people just block them. They don't even report them, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues with communication.
Yeah, gold sellers are definitely an issue, and there's issues with the game and communication in general. There are times where I'll be doing dungeons and all kinds of other PvE content with random people. I swear, half the people that play this game don't even notice that the text chat is even there. Like, no lie, there'll be times I'm trying to teach somebody mechanics or something, and they won't even see what I'm typing or saying to them or anything.
Exactly. And I know they were working on a whole guild chat, but I mean, here's the thing: you're launching into the game with the expectations that it's kind of like the PC port, where players, I don't like that I'm talking in area chat or state chat and everything that pops up is how much damage I dealt or what I won or somebody won something from. I'm like, I'm trying to have a conversation here, and you can't even separate. Sorry, and you can't even separate the chats, and they're wanting to do that, but it's like, why didn't you do? Like, there's things where at one point you got to say, why didn't you expect this when it's a common thing on PC?
Yeah, true. Very true.
So I don't know. And speaking of that, like, you know, where is the trading? Why can't you trade? Please don't tell me it's not to stop gold sellers, because, I mean, you can still mail.
Yeah,
like,
that's
still
gold
use
sellers.
the auction house. Like,
that's gold sellers' most popular way.
Like, you literally, like, okay, I've spoken to a lot of gold sellers in the past, whether it was as buying, whatever, but mostly, I think in like the last 3 years, it was kind of to just see how they work. I know when this game launched and my channel was growing, the amount of emails I got before they even joined like the game, they're like, MMOgo.com. Hey, you know, if you promote our site, we'll give you, I don't know, like $500 a week or something like that. And I'm like, you're not in the game, so you're obviously going to be in like a week. So I prepared myself. Like, I knew these guys are going to be in the game. And then later on, it was that AQ Gold or something, and different types of, I think they contact creators at any point to advertise their product, basically to sell their soul, right before they go into the game. And my point being is, the way they work isn't necessarily just to trading. And please don't tell me it's just to stop trading, because they do mail. They also do auction houses where you can list at any point, at any price. You give them exactly what price and what item it is, and they'll buy it from you. And that's how you get the gold. Like, there are so many ways. So I don't know why it's disabled. It's not like it's preventable.
Yeah, the gold sellers are always going to have ways around the system. That's just how it's been in MMOs for such a long time now. As long as there's ways to give currency to other players, there's going to be a way for gold sellers to work in the game. Me personally, just like you, dude, I get, still to this day, I get hundreds of emails from all kinds of different gold sellers. Hey, Tanek, we'll pay you a couple $100, you know, if you put our intro on one of your videos for a few minutes. We'll PayPal you this and send you that, and, you know, you'll have your own discount coupon and blah 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 blah. I'm just like, dude.
I won't lie. I thought about it for a little. I'm like, I do need the money, but I was like, no.
Yeah, no, I'm straight. I'll be honest. I'm a human. I was like, hey, you know, these guys are offering me a couple $100, you know, to put up a 15-second intro. Oh yeah, we'll give you $300 for 25 seconds worth of work. What's a normal human being gonna think about that?
Exactly. And I mean, some people do fall for it. I mean, I'm an admin for one of the, it's actually the largest Facebook group for Tera console, or Tera PS4, oldest one. I think it was the first one on Tera PS4. And one of the moderators there, he didn't agree to anything, but he was basically saying, they contacted him and they said, we're going to give you an elite status for free to give away to your page. All you have to do is put up this banner and just tell them, you know, it's sponsored by these people. And I'm like, no. He did for like for a few days. I'm like, no, don't do that. What is wrong with you? No, you don't understand. Like, I get it. He's like, yeah, but it's time they pay back. I'm like, I understand where the mindset is at, but the perception is like, it's okay. And right. That's the thing. It's not supposed to be okay.
Yeah. The thing about those guys is too, a lot of people don't understand the harm in buying gold. Like, the thing about the gold sellers is they don't know what kind of damage they're doing to the game. They personally don't care. Their main objective is just, they have a business, they want to make money. They're what they have to do is they just have people working for them, playing the game, farming whatever ways they can figure out to farm gold 24/7. These guys in turn sell it to players for cash to make a quick buck. The problem that this has on the game is it affects the the player markets and stuff like that. If people can get gold so easily, besides the standard ways that are in the game, it makes a lot of methods in the game, items on the markets for gold and stuff like that. It just destroys the whole game's balance. And I think a lot of people don't realize that when they go to buy gold, or they consider these partnerships with gold sellers and stuff like that, which me personally, I never knew from the beginning either. Like when I used to play Final Fantasy 14, way back when, I actually bought gold once. I had no idea, what it was going to do. My friend had actually told me about it. Yeah, do not support those guys. It destroys the game. I was like, how? I went and bought 5,000 gil. What the hell is that going to do to anybody? And then once he explained it to me from a more broad perspective, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, what do you think? Is there any like constructive like ways to combat gold sellers? Because I know a lot of players are wanting to know, and I've spoken to Burble, who is the one that takes care of the security stuff for NMAS, and he's the one who, on a daily basis, there's a script that runs that bans all gold sellers, and then they just make an account right afterwards. And he's trying to make like a specific ways to like stop gold sellers, not necessarily like stop them, because you can't necessarily stop them, but there are ways, like especially with console, if you work with Sony, for example, you can ban entire consoles. And I mean, IPs, you can ban IPs, sure, but it's, you change IPs, it's not difficult. You use a VPN, it's not difficult to change your account. Just make a different account. But banning entire consoles, or what he was thinking about, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, but I won't say. But he had some cool ideas.
Right. One thing I think NMAS can do to really enforce this is, honestly, reward players with small incentives for hunting these guys down. Because even from Final Fantasy 14, when I was playing that in games like Neverwinter and stuff, my natural reaction now with gold sellers is just click the name, block, so that way I don't see the message anymore. It's quick, simple, and it would be the common sense thing for everyone to do, but it doesn't actually rid the problem. They're still there. There's still hundreds of thousands of players that can still see that message. You just personally can't. You don't have to worry about it popping up in your feed anymore. What I think they should start doing is give people an incentive to start reporting these bots. And the thing about these gold sellers is, like I told you, they're business, they're human beings, just like everybody else running a system. If we can, push and kick enough of them off the game, they'll, just like everyone else, human feelings, they'll get tired and go elsewhere. I honestly think that if everyone pushes hard enough, that's something you got to get, like the whole community involved in the work. It's something we have to honestly fight back on. We just can't have like a couple guys doing it. There has to be everyone. There has to be a decent amount of people. That's why I think NMAS really needs to come up with a giant incentive, because Tera is a massive game on PC. That coming to console, the gold sellers honestly see that as a gold mine for cash. So they're gonna hit this game hard, and just more than anything, especially with the potential of the PS4 and the Xbox One, and how big they've been selling over the years. That's a ton of players and just a whole new market these guys can reach out on. So we're gonna need the strength of those communities to help combat it.
For sure. And speaking of incentives, like, do you think there should be? I mean, there's a lot of cool community events that we have. We're getting the Strongbox one, which was I don't want to talk about it because I hate RNG. But we did have like the Battlegrounds thing that they just came out with, and before that it was the Dungeons. Do you think there's any like cool community events that would like help grow the player base, maybe give some incentive to play, not necessarily including the fact that you have to like play dungeons, but just like something silly, something fun? Like, any ideas?
Well, one thing they could do is they could make some type of like a veteran and new buddy system. I think this is cool because Final Fantasy 14 does something like this. they'll reward veteran players for helping out new players. That way, guys who have been playing the game for a while, kind of burnt out on it, want to get their friends into it. Give them a reason to to like refer people and stuff like that. Do like referral bonuses and just little things like they're honestly, I thought their double XP events, I thought those were great. I thought that would be a great way to bring new players in and stuff like that. Hey, brand new MMO, there's double XP running for a week. You have an easy way to zoom through all the content and just get a high level character to end game. But yeah, maybe some type of like veteran to new player buddy system or something like that. That could definitely help, and it'll also get a lot of the community involved in bringing more players to the game as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I know the referral system, there is one actually in the PC version, and I was very surprised that they didn't bring it over at least last month or something. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they don't have I don't know how to explain it, like a way to really put in codes and stuff like that, because it's a different like net code and all that. But it was weird because the buddy system is kind of cool. You get something, they get something. Those dragon mounts that they came out with like last month, that was one of the perks for them leveling up to 65 and you being their buddy. Like you both get one. So it was strange that they didn't bring. Yeah, it was weird that they didn't. You got like a lot of gems and a lot of cool perks and drinks and I don't know, caniferas and
that's nostrums. Honestly what they need to bring to make this happen.
Yeah, it was weird that they didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely actually gonna mention that to them now.
But let's get into more controversial things. When are the new classes coming? Like, why is there new gear class dropping? Like, it's been dropping since early access. I was one of the first people to get like a gunner weapon, and I was like, what is going on here? As a priest, I am confused. Please help me. What is going on? Like, why are the classes not here? When are we gonna get them? Like, yeah.
Oh man, I've made probably 2 videos now speculating on this, but honestly, it's really, really, really hard to tell. The only evidence I really have is basically based on these like these dungeon drops and everything that people have been getting. Is these classes were definitely meant to be in this build of the game. It's like I said in my video, I personally think the way that they're doing content with this game is, with the console version, is a lot different than how they're doing things on PC. Because one thing I will give them is they've been updating Tera console frequently since it came out. Like, I literally think there's just going to be a point in time where they give us one of the classes 1 week, another one's going to come a few weeks later, and then the final one's going to come a few weeks after that, maybe with like another dungeon or something like that included or something, or they're going to try and put some type of DLC spin-off on it to make it look cool. Like, say they give us Valkyrie and I don't know, like 3 or 4 of the other dungeons from PC, and call it like the Hell's Dragon pack or something. I don't know, but I personally think that's how the classes are gonna come out. I do hear a lot of rumors, and this is just something I get in my comments section frequently, and the only reason I trust it is because I've heard it a little bit, because I've heard it 1,000 times. Is people are always saying that the classes were removed from the console build because they were causing issues from the game. And it does make a little bit of sense, because those 3 classes technically are DLC classes. None of those classes were included with the vanilla build of Tera. So what kind of negative effect or whatever they were having on the build, I'm personally not too sure. But I do think we're going to get them sooner than later, especially judging by how quick and Mass fought to get the game on the console as early in the year as possible. Like, a lot of people weren't expecting Tera console to come out until like close to summertime. There were so many people saying, I swear this game isn't going to be here till June. It's not going to be here till June. I kept trying to tell people all the time, guys, it's early 2018. I'm telling you, it's early 2018. That's what they've been saying. That's what they've been preaching on. And they fought really hard to make sure that game came out in early 2018. I think that's why we still have some of these bugs and glitches that we do now, because I think the game came out a little bit sooner than it should have. But that's they are doing a good job of fixing everything. But I think the classes are just one of the things on their to-do list are just rolling out with updates. And every time I do inquire with one of the guys at En Masse about it, I did try asking a few weeks ago for like a little sneak peek into that, and they go completely silent. So that just tells me, there is something planned. They do have something special they want to do with that. I just personally have no idea. I have no idea what it is, but I have a feeling that they're on the way soon, because if they weren't, we wouldn't see any of the gear pieces drop or anything like that. I think they're working hard to get something to be in there that was supposed to be there in the first place.
So I know the based on the patch, because we're on a mixed patch, patches really. A lot of them are based on the fact that some gear drops from classes and they were never removed from the loot table. So I don't really necessarily think that's a fair, I guess, assessment. I mean, I've seen a lot of content creators state that, they know when it's coming out, or that it's coming out at a specific time, or a specific date, or a specific month. And I'm over here like, I'm like, really? You know more than I do, and and that's rare. Like, when it comes to this game, But
I would really like to know who your source is, buddy.
And I'm like, what is your source? I just spoke to this GM like a minute ago, and they said they don't even freaking know. They don't even know. And it's funny because a lot of that misinformation is being misconstrued, and people are thinking it's going to be coming at this month or that month. And all I can really say, and I mean, I don't know if we can even say that, but all I can really say is the fact that there are things planned for this summer. There are a lot of exciting things and a lot of exciting content coming this summer. Definitely. Not allowed to say what. Well, I don't think we're allowed to say what or what exactly.
Yeah, we can't speak on any of that.
But the only thing we can say is that's all we really know. And if anybody's telling you otherwise, take it from people that actively create Tera content and we're En Masse partners and we know our information and it comes straight from En Masse. They probably don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if they might be an En Masse partner and they're doing the same thing, they don't know. We don't know. We literally don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know. They're just it's been made more than obvious, and I've told people in speculation videos a billion times. They've made it more than obvious that there's a lot planned for this summer. I mean, we've had 2 or 3 double XP events now. There's so many kinds of pushes to to get people to end game and stuff like that. It's basically just like a big sign saying, "Hey guys, level up. Something's coming." I don't know how many more signs we can give for that. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of me and Sarumonin's State of the Game discussion. Be sure to go to his channel. Check out the link in the description below to check out part 2 of our State of the Game discussion. And like I said, guys, you guys are going to love his content, so be sure to check him out. But if y'all enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button for me. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy, Tnek127. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out. Take care.